Hey, this is Jason Mott. If you want your baseball news, listen to One Cardinal, One Cub, and One Beer with JJ and Vince.
Welcome to One Cardinal, One Cub, and One Beer. It is playoff time. I'm wearing my garb.
See,
What's that?
yes. Very nice.
Thank you. I'm wearing my garb. We're going to get into the playoffs pretty soon, but first of all, we have some important stuff to announce. Number one, those of you who are watching on the YouTube channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe button so that you can get our content as soon as it falls, because we are recording a day early. And if you haven't hit subscribe, you're going to watch this like 2 days after we've done this, and you're going to think, what happened to them guys? They look so young way back then.
Yeah, what happened to them?
We age a lot in 48 hours, so make sure you do that. Those of you who are on Facebook, make sure that you like our Facebook page and follow what we're doing there. And for those of you who would like to get a hold of us through one of our platforms, you can certainly do that. DM either one of us or use the old-fashioned email, one card, one cup, one beer at gmail.com. If you would like to support our efforts, and who wouldn't? Who would not like to support
I
this?
don't know anybody who wouldn't.
I don't either. Just go to One Cardinal, One Cup of One Beer, or go to patreon.com. On the search bar, type in One Cardinal, One Cup of One Beer, and you can see how you can support our efforts. JJ, how you doing?
Really good, Vince. Crazy world we live in. I never know what to think. I don't know. I got so many stories. Vince, I don't know how some people function in the real world. I went to a gas station today. The girl at the counter, she works the cash register, says $7.43. I give her $10 and I said, oh, wait a minute. I think I got 43 cents. I had it. I gave it to her. She opens up the cash register, put it in there, and she just looks at me for about, seemed like 30 seconds. And I said, I gave you $10. And she goes, yeah, I know. And so she looks at me for a while. She gets out her phone, starts going on her phone, opens the cash register, and gave me $2.53 back. And I was like, oh, I didn't want to embarrass her. Or I was like, thank you. And I took off with it. But man,
See,
I would have
I'm
said so. If she gave me $5.53, I would have said something to her like, no, you keep this.
no. As soon as she would have looked at that, I would say you owe me $3.
I know I should have.
$10.43 minus $7.43, which was my purchase. That leaves me with $3.
I
But
know. I just thought, oh well, she must have just misunderstood or something. But and that's my life, Vince, and I don't want to put anybody in a bad spot. It's only 43 cents or whatever. So oh well.
when I was in college, I worked at Wearco gas station in downtown Hannibal. We still had a lot of money in our pocket and the little change thing. So
Oh
I got
yeah.
really proficient at counting that. And he told everybody who interviewed, if you can't add in your head, leave now because we'll come up short and it'll be traced back to you. So yeah, you learned really quick to do the change thing. Fun.
Fun times. Well, Vince, we have had, I want to say this right out of the gate, our contest for who can predict the World Series, and then you pick the opponent, you pick the team that wins, the opponent's the tiebreaker, and then how many games is the extra tiebreaker. We started out with 18. And again, Vince, we've got the smartest listeners in all the land, you know. Forget Joe Rogan. It's one Cardinal, one Cub, one beer. These are the smart ones. But anyway, we started with 18, and after the first round, we got three got knocked out. One of our listeners said Boston would win it, and they're from Massachusetts. I understand. The Cardinals were in it. I'd probably be loyal to the Cardinals and say them too. So I understand. And then two of our listeners said the Padres. So we've lost three and we're down to 15 as we go into the second round. So this is getting pretty good.
And nobody said the Cubs.
Nope, no, nobody said the Cubs. So everybody loses if the Cubs win.
Well, this week, and the reason why we did an abbreviated show was because of my schedule. My daughter, Rebecca, she is in the PhD program at Memphis State, getting her PhD in piano. And so every year she has a recital. So I've been going to recitals for I don't know 15 years, I guess. I don't know, a long time. And I used to get nervous. I don't get nervous anymore. It's it is amazing. And she hates when people say that she's a prodigy or she has a lot of talent or whatever, because literally she spends sometimes 10 hours a day practicing on piano. I mean, it's a lot of hard work. But man, so we went to Memphis and she completely nailed her recital. It was fantastic. Very, very tough pieces that she did. Um, and then when after the Brendan was there, my her boyfriend, the Brewers fan who's been on a few times, and it was right after the Cubs won that third game on Thursday. And I, let me tell you what happened Thursday.
Okay.
Kathy and I are in the hotel room and we're watching the game, and the Cubs are cruising 3-0. One of the things that bothered me though is that in the end we had 13 hits in 8 innings, and we only scored 3 runs. And usually that's a recipe for disaster. So we go in the top of the ninth, we're winning 3-0, we're cruising, and we bring in Keller. And he gives up a solo home run, which didn't bother me. It just landed in the basket. I don't care at this point. Then he gets the strikeout that was controversial because it was about 4 inches off the plate. But, you know, it's nothing to beat up the umpire for, Padres, but that's apparently what they wanted to do.
I think so.
So then he hits the next two hitters.
Oh,
They're left-handers. He's right-handed. He's got a 1-2 count on both of them, and he hits them. I don't know how you do that. I just don't. And by this time, we are driving to the auditorium, and they're coming to get Keller, and I say some terrible words you should not say. I turn the radio off, and I tell Kathy, I can't listen to this manure that I used. This is how I'm 59 years old. This is how conditioned Cub fans are. We always expect to blow it. We just do. And when this started happening, I thought, I cannot watch this. I cannot watch us lose in the first round of the playoffs. So I turn it off. We park, and I actually tell Kathy, I did not want to be in a bad mood before this performance. I did not want this to happen. And so then I whipped out my phone. I looked, hey, we won 3-1. So then I got in a good, happy mood. So Kit Rich came in and got the save. He's done a bang-up job. They did use him as an opener. He gave up a run, but I don't count that as much. But anyway, for me as a Cub fan, we haven't won a series since 2017. We haven't won a game in the postseason since 2017. We haven't been to the postseason since 2018, and I don't count 2020 because it was the COVID year and everybody made the playoffs. Did the Cardinals make the playoffs?
Yeah, we did. We got knocked out in the first round, but we made it.
Yeah, so everybody made the playoffs. So anyway, after I looked at the score, we are walking out of the parking lot towards the auditorium. I got emotional. I actually started crying a little. I still told Kathy, I can't believe I'm emotional. But I composed myself. We got to the auditorium. Then Brendan came in and he said, "Well, I was worried about you. You were worried about." So now we are playing the Brewers, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But let me show you a few things that I picked this up in Memphis.
Oh, yes.
It's
Tommy.
It's a mini movie poster, and I'm thinking about making this into a clock and putting the clock right there in the corner.
Yes.
Those of you
Oh,
familiar
very
with
good.
rock
I see
opera.
Tina Turner on there. I see Tina Turner on the bottom.
Oh yeah, it's Tina Turner's on here, Elton John, Eric Clapton. They were all in the movie. This
And
year,
Margaret, probably.
and
Is Anne
Margaret right
Margaret?
here, yeah.
Yeah.
Oliver Reed, and then all the members of
Oh,
the Who
yeah.
are on there. So that's pretty cool.
That is
But
real cool.
I'm uh, I'm ramping up making projects, and for those of you who don't know, Kathy and I do craft shows, and we do cat-based items called My Cat Habitat. Well, we didn't do craft shows last year because things were getting away from us, time and everything. So we decided we were going to do craft shows, but we're going to do holiday and pop culture based things until the spring, and then we'll do the cat stuff. I got 12 of these mini concert posters.
Oh my gosh, that's old right there. Yeah.
But actually, the concert poster, they're just plastic. I ordered them off of Amazon, I think. I thought, oh, that looks pretty cool. I wonder if I could do something with that. And all I've been doing is framing these, and they're coming out beautiful. So I've got like Blondie. This is the Rolling Stones Jefferson Airplane opening for them. That's
Oh
pretty
yeah, Keith
cool.
Richards right there playing. Oh, very cool.
Yeah. Um, I love this one, Santana.
Oh yeah, very
Um,
cool. At the Fillmore.
yes. And also at the Fillmore, the Beach Boys.
I love the Beach Boys.
Yeah, and I've got Tom Petty, I've got Leonard Skinner, um, oh gosh, who else do I have? Not Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Led Zeppelin, um, oh, a few others. So I'm really excited about that. And this is one of the things that I'm making. I'm taking old Christmas albums. You can buy just the cover at a place called Record Exchange, where I get a lot of my vinyl. And I'm making these drink trays out of them. They're completely waterproof, and it's just an old record that cover, and just a lot of them are Christmas themed. But yeah, I'm having fun with these, and I so if you want to stop at one of our craft shows, when I get them all lined up, I'll let people know, hey, this is where we're going to be at our craft show, and we're going to have some other stuff there. But yeah, I'm just having a blast making something other than cat products for the first time in a few years. So a lot of fun.
I have a friend that always sends me what he thought of the episode. Oh, I like this. I like that. And his name's Dennis Rose. He's been on here where uh congratulations on your second year. And Dennis said the one thing he said was, I love Vince's trays. I love those. And I was like, I'll let him know that. So he was paying attention.
Good, good. So yeah, if he wants to buy one, I'll let him know where we're going to
I'll
be.
let him know.
And I've got about 35 of the trays made so far, and I'll probably try to get 100 before we do craft shows, and then just replenish. But these album covers, there's hundreds of them at Record Exchange, and they sell them for $1 a piece, and they got just about everything in there that we're focusing on Christmas right now because we've got that coming up. But if I see an album cover that's like, "Ooh, that's cool," I'll do that. I've my next round, I've got a Leonard Skinner album cover that I'll be using. So I'm doing some pop stuff, but just having a blast.
Very good. Brody, I'll tell Brody about Leonard Skinner. That's one of his bands right there.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm not going to do transactions and injuries because who cares? But I do want to open with this. There are 7 teams that are looking for managers, that were looking for managers. the Rangers did hire the other day. They hired Skip Schumacher when they found out that Bochy wasn't coming back. So I'm glad that Skip is with a team with talent. And let's see what happens now. Very good. So the Rangers have theirs. The Giants are still looking, and their top candidate is Nick Hundley, who was a teammate of Buster Posey, the president of operations for the team. So apparently they're pretty close, and Buster Posey really believes in his skill. So the Giants are still looking. But this one surprised me. Did you see who the Angels are going to interview?
Albert Pujols.
Exactly.
Well,
What do
he
you
doesn't
think?
have a whole lot of experience. He's popular, and my gosh, it's Albert Pujols. But there's been a lot of great players managed, and it didn't go so well. I wish him luck. I think there'd be an curiosity for a while, but he's going to have to produce. I think he won some championship in some Caribbean league one. That's all I really know he's done. But God love him. I hope he gets a job if that's works out best for both teams. They need something. It's been 10 years below 500 for that Angel franchise, and they need something.
And when you look at the team, they have some components, especially offensively. Um, so if if Artie Moreno can restrain himself and not throw out these huge contracts and spend decent money on players who can help you win, um, and then they're not financially hamstrung, like they've been financially hamstrung at Pujols, Otani, Trout, Rendon, giving all that money to these players, and they don't have the resources to put good players around them. Now that they're a younger team and their talent is younger, I hope they kind of right the ship, because if Pujols does become their manager, I would like to see him succeed.
Yeah.
I, you know, not like I hate Albert Pujols. I did when he played the Cubs, but
I understand. Hey, I
and,
understand.
and I was angry when he left town. I thought this is a guy who should have stayed with Cardinals for his whole career, but um,
And you said it before,
that's
Vince.
that's in the past.
You can only do so much to keep a player. For whatever reason, if they want to go somewhere else, I understand. Yeah, I mean that's their choice, and you'd love to see a guy stay forever, especially if he has done well with that team. But sometimes it's just beyond your control. Vince, what do you think about this? I've heard rumors that Bochy stepped down from the Rangers, and there's been rumors of him maybe reconnecting with the Giants and Posey over in San Francisco. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah, and I also read today that Buster Posey kind of squashed that. Like, no, that's not happening.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, and I don't think it should happen with Bochy. He's in his 70s now.
Yeah,
Um, what's 4 World Series titles? The next trip you need to take is to Cooperstown, dude. You're
that's true.
fine.
That's true. That's
You
true.
remember you remember when we were growing up, and I think we were probably young adults by then when Bruce Bochy was playing.
Oh, yeah.
And it kind of blows my mind that here's this guy who was a pedestrian player, nothing special, and he becomes this great manager. And it's so weird when you see some of these people who become great managers. I remember him; he was kind of a nobody, you know.
Yeah.
And suddenly they're managing and they're great. So
Well, if he had never managed, I think just a handful of people, a small percentage of people would remember who he was. There's so many players and everything, but now he's a legend. He became a manager. Joe Torre was a very good player, and now he's legendary with his managerial success. But yeah, you're right. There's guys you didn't even see coming. Craig Counsell was a very good player, but he was just a really good player. And now, shoot, that dude's done nothing but be successful in the big leagues.
Tony La Russa just had like a cup of coffee in the majors and became a legendary manager. It just strikes me as weird. Then you got guys like Don Mattingly who are pretty good managers, but I don't think of him as a great strategist.
Right.
And I think a lot of the managers who are, to use the football term, X and O's managers, I think they're the ones who were not stars, and they had to think strategy to be a winning ball player.
Maybe sitting on the bench, they got to sit next to the coaches and talk about strategy,
Yeah.
especially catchers, a lot of catchers in the big leagues. And I've heard David Ross's name mentioned on 2 or 3 of these lists that he may pop back up with another team.
Now, this is what I do like David Ross with. The Braves um, are managerless, and Snitker's gone. Great run in Atlanta for Snitker. They still got all this talent in the world. Ross has ties to the organization because he has ties to every organization because he played for just about every team in baseball. So I think David Ross would be a good fit in Atlanta.
Oh, I definitely too. They've had bad luck with injuries the last 2 years, and that's really hurt them because that even if they just lost a couple of players, they're still a very strong team and would give anybody a good fight for their money. But they've just been hurt. After Acuna won that MVP, it just seems like all their stars have been hurt. It's just bad luck the last couple of years.
Yeah. The Rockies, they need to hire a GM first, and then hire a manager, and then hire players. So they're kind of, that's not an appealing job. Let's just
Yes, not right now.
Um,
Low expectations. That's a good thing, Vince. Low expectations. They might give you a little more leeway there.
hey, I'm going to win 65 games this year for you. Yeah.
Well, I'm afraid.
The Nationals new GM has been hired, Paul Tabani, and they're going to start looking now that they've got a GM in place. And I kind of think Dave Martinez got screwed because it wasn't his fault. All the talent left.
Yeah.
He won a World Series with them, and then all the talent left, and he ends up with nothing and gets fired. The Twins, I haven't heard any rumblings what they're going to do. And I think it's sad. Rocco Baldelli took them to a couple of playoffs, has one bad year, and oh, well, let's get rid of him.
And they traded 10 of his players at the trading deadline. I mean,
Yeah.
they just pretty much stripped that team down. He didn't have a chance.
Yeah, I think Baldelli will latch on somewhere too. Um, and the Orioles are still looking, but at the top of their list is the interim manager they had after they let Brendan Hyde go, Tony Mansolino. So he's their top candidate. He did finish the year 60-59 with the team that was injured. The pitching staff was devastated. So maybe there's something there. So that's kind of the managerial stuff that's going on right now. I don't expect any other managers to get fired after the playoffs because the best candidates are going to be taken quickly. No obits to announce, so everybody.
There was one, Vince.
Who?
Juan Marichal from the Giant great Juan
When did that
Marichal.
happen?
Well, I seen the message and I double checked it, and I even went to Wikipedia and it mentioned that he had passed away. And I believe that was Saturday, perhaps. Double check me on that. I don't want to say anything that's wrong, but sometimes they say all kinds of stuff on the internet. Gary Busey dies every week, but I check and no, he's still around. Gary Busey is still with us, ladies and gentlemen. But I read that Juan Marichal passed away at the age of 87. So while Vince looks, one Hall of Famer, one of the all-time greats. Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
All right, Vince is looking. Well, I'll talk about Juan while you're looking, and we'll either celebrate Juan Marichal or we'll mention that he passed. But I saw a blurb that he had passed away. 10-time All-Star, Hall of Fame, ERA title, All-Star MVP, 62.8 WAR, 243 wins and 142 losses. and an ERA of 2.89. And he played, a lot of our listeners are too young to remember, but he played 60 through 1960 to 1975. And I kind of caught him at the end of his career. Uh, Anything there, Vince, or anything? But he played with the Giants for 14 years. So that's the team I always think of him on.
I've got him as still being alive.
Well, I love Juan Marichal, and Juan, I'm so sorry. I saw a blurb though, and then I went and checked it, and it had the two things. So Vince, I apologize to you.
Oh no,
I thought
but
I seen even a blurb at the bottom or something of the screen.
a
So
couple of years ago, I saw a news article, and it was a legit news article that said Ric Flair had died, and so I posted on Facebook that Ric Flair had died, and then like 2 days later, I found out that no, he didn't die. He just almost died.
almost died. Flair's almost died. He's like a champion. He puts that foot up on the rope at 2.5, and he won't go out. He sticks around. So
Yeah,
I am so
God
sorry.
was trying to pin him, and he put his foot on there.
Nah, not yet. Nah. That's right. He got himself disqualified and continued. But anyway, sorry, Juan Marichal, great player. I always think of him with that high leg kick. And I was looking at stats and everything, and Christy Matheson and Juan Marichal, the two greatest Giant pitchers ever lived, fantastic players there. So anyway, sorry, Vince.
When I was growing up, I had a friend who was an avid baseball card collector, a huge baseball fan. He's probably wound up in prison because he was, aside from his baseball fandom, he was just bad news all the
Oh,
time. So I quit hanging around with him. But in his bedroom, he had a poster of Juan Marichal with the high leg kick. That was the coolest poster.
yeah.
Uh, so
How
well,
about that?
glad you're still around, Juan. 87 years
Yeah,
old. So
I got that right.
um you have any other general news you want to talk about before
Yeah,
we
baseball, I always worry about baseball because, so much attention goes to the NBA and football, and deservedly so. But baseball has slipped down, maybe to third or right in there. But as popularity, but as far as the world, baseball has really come on strong, and attendance figures have come out. And in 2025, it was the third consecutive year of attendance growth. And this is with two teams playing in minor league stadiums and the Cardinals not drawing much at all this year. So they drew more this year with 71 million fans with ticket sales. So 71 million, that's fantastic. And it's the first time there's been 3 straight years of growth of attendance since 2005 to 2007. So I just want to pass along that good news that baseball's in a good state. And Vince, if you see these playoff games, it's packed houses, it's electric. There's just another whole feel to the game when the playoffs come. But the fans are coming out and having a great time. And man, it's good to be a baseball fan, and things are going good right now. And I seen a statistic that there was a record broken this year. The New York Mets, and we have a few listeners that are huge New York Met fans. The New York Mets set a record this year for the most pitchers used in a season. The New York Mets used 46 pitchers this year, the most pitchers ever used by a major league team over the course of a year. I don't know what the old record was, but 46 is a lot of pitchers to go through. A
yeah,
lot
oh,
of
yeah.
injuries, a lot of guys not getting the job done. I think most of them came through their bullpen. So that was my two other little points I wanted to make there about the season this year.
And also the subscriptions to MLB.TV was up this year.
Fantastic.
So
That's great news.
yeah, the game, people, well, it's not a national game anymore. Football's a national game. And
Right.
baseball's always been a regional game. It's been a
Yeah.
regional game that's had a few teams that have national appeal, like the Dodgers and the Yankees. Um, they have national appeal, but mostly it's still a regional sport, and I think that's the strength of it. Football, anytime there's a football game on, no matter who's playing, football fans are going to watch it because it's a national game. They are into that. Baseball fans are a little bit different. They want to see their team. And if their team isn't playing, for the most part, baseball fans are like, yeah, I can do without it. I realized a long, long time ago, like when I was in high school, I was different than my other friends who were baseball fans. They were all Cardinal fans. Well, I did have a friend who was a Dodger fan. I had a friend who was a Pirate fan, but for the most part, they were all Cardinal fans, and they really did not pay attention what was going on with a lot of the other teams. And yeah, I was the kid who, I can't leave. I can't leave until the game of the week is over. Oh, who's playing? Well, we have the Pirates against the Expos, and I want to watch it. So um, that's just the nature of baseball fans. And I like the regional appeal of teams because you have that fan base that bonds, that helps bind a community. And I know attendance is down in St. Louis now, but man, you walk around like me, an introvert. You walk around like me, and you don't say much to very many people. But if I see someone that's wearing a Cardinal shirt or a Cardinal, hey, I'm a baseball fan too. Sorry to say I'm a Cub fan, and I can talk to anybody about baseball.
Oh, heck yeah! And players like the Toronto and Canada, they just love the Blue Jays up there. That's kind of their national team. Now that Otani and there's been a lot of great Japanese players, you might go to Japan and see a Seattle Mariner hats or shirts and Dodger stuff, and down in the Caribbean, you'll see Pittsburgh Pirate stuff, of course, the Clemente and just players like that. So, and one of the things I found fascinating about this was a lot of old timers like myself thought, I don't know about these rule changes. I don't know about messing with the schedule. I just didn't like any change. But the game seems to be not losing any steam with all these rule changes. And I'm glad baseball took a while to make sure the technology was up to par and the rules they made would, you know, a smooth transaction. So I'm appreciative of that. But yeah, it seems like the game's in a good state, and there's young superstars coming up. It seems like monthly. We're getting two or three guys I never heard of. Some of the pitchers that are pitching in these big games, Vince, they're like 23 years old and through like maybe 10 games, and 50,000 people screaming, and they're in there just, man, ice running through their veins, throwing incredible games. So it's really fun to watch.
It is. I really enjoy what's going on right now. You want to get into the playoffs now?
Why, sure. It's always fun talking about the playoffs.
Well, let's just go over what happened in the wild card round. I'm sure all of our listeners know what happened. Boston won the first game against the Yankees, and then the Yankees decided, okay, we'll wake up and send you home. And
Yes.
after the recital on Thursday, we went to this bar and grill and sat outside. It was a beautiful night on the outdoor TV. They had the Yankee Red Sox game, so I got to watch it. The sound wasn't on, but I got to pay attention to it. That was really good. And I think we both picked the Yankees to beat Boston. So
Yes. And the deciding game, it was two young kids, rookies, going at each other. I was like, I knew they'd go quick to the bullpens if needed, but man, that was fun. And greatest rivalry right there. I know you got the Cubs and the Brewers and the Cubs and the Cardinals and there's other teams, Dodgers and Giants, but man, you still can't beat a good Yankee Red Sox series, especially in the playoffs.
yeah, and the most disturbing thing about that series is I found out that Kathy was rooting for the Yankees.
Oh, any reason why?
Yeah, she wants a divorce. The reason why is because she's still mad that Boston has beat them in two World Series.
Oh,
04
yes.
and was it 13? Yeah, she's still mad
Yes.
about that. So
We beat them once. The Enos Slaughter Mad Dash was against the Red Sox, so we got
also
one.
67.
Oh,
So
that's right. We're 2-2 against them in the World Series. That's right.
the other game in the American League, completely caught us both by surprise is the Detroit Tigers, who barely backed in on fumes into the playoffs, went to Cleveland and took 2 of 3. I love baseball. You can never predict it. You can never predict it. But
No, it's hard to bet on baseball. Who would have seen that coming? We thought momentum. We talked about momentum, and Detroit was just dead in the water on fumes. And isn't it something? I don't know if it's balls just found CNI balls making it through the infield or landing or a bad pitch here and there, but Detroit seemed to flick the switch right when they needed to and got past this very hot Cleveland team, and then they're going up to into the next round. So congratulations to Detroit and Hinch. And I feel so bad for Cleveland. They fought so hard, and man,
yeah.
they don't have a big payroll, and they're tough guys that just stand there and play their hearts out. But it wasn't for them this year.
And they had to face Scuba in the first game, which is a monumental task.
Yes.
And yeah, it was tough. To nobody's surprise, the Dodgers smoked the Reds. It was the first game like 10-5 or something. The second game was like 8-4. Even in the second game, when the first inning, when the Reds scored 2 runs, it ain't gonna matter.
You just ticked them off now. So look out. Here they come.
I was surprised how well the Dodgers hit Hunter Green. They hit him like it was nobody's business. And he did not bring his best stuff out of the bullpen, which happens every now and then. But poor guy, it happened in the playoffs after a fantastic season. But got to tip your hats to the Dodgers. They were obviously a superior team, and Cincinnati's just an average team. They have no offense, so it was okay. And then the Cubs defeated the Padres 2-1. And after the first game that the Cubs won, Kittredge started the second game as an opener, and they scored a run off him. Then Imanaga came in and pitched pretty good. But we lost the second game. And then in the third game, I've already went over that with my emotional deal. So we defeated the Padres 2-1. And I'm not just saying this because we're down 1-0. I want us to win, and I still think we've got a really good shot. But I am honestly, if we lose the next 2 games, I'm okay, because it was so good to get back into the playoffs and to actually have a good showing, win that first series, especially when we're a little beat up. So I was like, I will take this victory and we'll keep going and see what happens. Anything we get on top of this, I think, is gravy. Of course, if we win the World Series, that is expensive gravy on my potatoes. But so
I tell you what, Vince, what I noticed about the Cubs, because the Padres are a very good team. I mean, this is not just, I mean, they gave the Dodgers, who are maybe the most talented team, a run for their money for the division. And then here comes the Cubs, and the Cubs, the things about the Cubs, first of all, is the defense. Darby Swanson, what a defensive series for
what
that
a
guy.
Series. Oh my
God.
I
mean, now they're going to be, I think they're building a statue to him outside the stadium now. He is Mr. Cub in this current time period. They absolutely love him. The defense was extraordinary. We knew that going into it. That's why I picked the Cubs. They run good. They play great defense. And I tell you what, they're selfless. They give up. They'll move the runner over. They do whatever it takes. PCA in center field, he's so good, you take it for granted almost. And then and the thing about the Cubs, because we both picked the Cubs to go on to the second round, but the Cubs, everything's looking great for them. This is a young team. A lot of pitchers got hurt. They're going to be back next year. You can always construct a bullpen. That was kind of your bugaboo at the beginning of the year, and now it's, I think, a strength. Your bullpen's been fantastic. And it looks like you got a whole team of guys that look like Hollywood, picked them to be the guys on the team. They're all are like matinee idols out there. And you're like, my gosh, that's a good looking team. You got the Cardinals, man. We're all beat up, Bruce is on our necks. And then you guys come out looking fresh as a daisy, looking good. So anyway, I think the future is bright for the Cubs. No matter what happens the rest of the way out, things are looking good.
Kyle Tucker is the ugliest player on the team. I
He
did
takes it
love
down a little.
I did love in the first game. Imanaga came in like the fifth inning and just threw smoke. And they weren't hitting him. His ball was so alive, and I thought, yes, bring him in now, where they were facing the middle of the lineup. Bring him in now. Stop it now. We've got enough arms at the back end. We don't need to put him at the back end. And I thought Council did a brilliant job in that first game handling the pitching. And then he did a great job throughout the series handling the pitching. I mean, we give up four runs. I mean, he did a great job. Um, but I'll get into a mess up that I think he did against Milwaukee in a minute. But I love that PCA had 6 strikeouts in the first 2 games and made the adjustments and come out and got a couple, 2 or 3 hits in the final game, and set the tone with that bases loaded single. So just very happy about that. But the thing that San Diego needs to do is look in the mirror, and I'm talking about Tatis and Machado. Machado did hit a home run, but that's all he did. They did not show up for this series. I don't know if they just thought it was going to be a cakewalk. We've got the better pitching, so we're going to win this. I don't know what it was, but they looked completely, I don't want to say lost at the plate, non-competitive. But
Well,
hey,
and I'm a big Mike Schultz fan, and I pull for Mike Schultz. I want to see him do good no matter where he goes and what happens. But I was afraid, like some teams have such high expectations that I thought Aaron Boone could be in trouble if he didn't get through that first round. Aaron Boone might be in trouble because they expect to go to the World Series every year, and with the payroll and the stars they have, I thought Schultz might be in trouble. I mean, I hope not, but they usually like to blame somebody. But yeah, I think they just look like they were not quite in it yet, or I don't
and
know.
it wasn't the fault of the pitching because my gosh, everybody pitched like a stud.
It was intense. Those series have been. I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm just sitting there and I'm worked up, Vince. I know how you feel because my Cardinals were in it. I'd be like, I wouldn't have any fingernails. I wouldn't have any hair. Well, I don't have either right now anyway. But it would have been very stressful.
Yeah, and Mason Miller, that gum.
Oh,
I I cannot believe Oakland just
I
traded
don't know
him
why
away.
they give up for. I'll have to go back and look and see what they gave up for him because
I'm
he throws more velocity than any pitcher in baseball. And starter Hunter Green has the most velocity of any starter. I just looked that up today to have something unusual to talk about. But yeah, my gosh, I'd love to have him on our team.
So we're in the division series, and the Yankees, who won that intense series with the Red Sox, they forgot that Toronto was pretty good, and Toronto has put on 23 runs in 2 games against the Yankees to take a 2-0 lead.
Man,
And so it's going back to New York. Game 3 is going to be Bieber against Rodon. Game 4, Toronto hasn't announced yet. Yankees has announced that Schlitter, the guy who won the clinching game in the wild card round, will be starting. And then both Game 5, if necessary, both teams are to be determined. Um, I did not see the Yankees implode with their pitching like that in the first 2 games in Toronto. Um, but I am happy. I would love to see Toronto go back to the World Series after
oh yeah.
30 years or whatever it's been. So that was kind of awesome. Um, Detroit and Seattle are tied at 1. So Detroit did what they had to do. They took one in Seattle, and that's what you have to do. Now they go back to Detroit, which things even out a little bit with that huge ballpark. And in game three tomorrow, it will be Gilbert for the Mariners, and he'll be facing Flaherty, who has had a down year this year. So, but Flaherty pitched really good in the postseason the last couple seasons. So we'll see how that goes.
And Riley and Rodriguez have really been hitting. The first game, there was only 6 hits in extra innings, and 3 by Rodriguez and 3 by Riley. In the second game, everybody pitched in, Vershawn and some other players, but the stars on the Mariners are hitting. And Vince, I'm kind of partial. I'd love to see the 1979 expansion teams meet in the ALCS. That would be fun. Blue Jays and Seattle. That
would be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Game 4, the Mariners haven't announced. Game 4, Detroit has announced that Mize will pitch, and then game 5, both of them will be determined. And that's contingent on if necessary, of course. Milwaukee is up 1-0 over Chicago. I thought Counsell made a mistake in game 1, and I'll tell you what the mistake I think was. Boyd has been pitching on 4 days rest the whole season. I don't mess with that.
Yeah.
First game in Milwaukee, a rested Milwaukee team, you're facing Peralta. I would have rather saw them throw Colin Ray in that first game. Not that you were trying to lose a game, but it's very tough, even if you've got Tom Seaver on the mound, to beat Peralta in Milwaukee. So I would have liked to have seen him hold Boyd back, get him a little more rest, and go ahead and start Colin Ray, who pitched in Milwaukee last year and pitched good in Milwaukee Stadium. So I thought that was a strategic mistake, and I'm not just saying that because Boyd got hammered, and I don't even think he made it out of the first inning. It was 9-1. I texted Max when it was like 6-1, said I'm going to go do my woodworking. Forget this, So, but I thought that was a strategic mistake. If you're going to lose, go ahead and lose 9-3. We did not have to expend any of our major pieces in the bullpen. Soraka pitched after Boyd and gave up more runs. It didn't matter. But Savali came in and pitched 4 1/3 innings of shutout ball and really saved the bullpen. So I'm optimistic because I think now from here on out the pitching is going to be well rested. And I will say this, that Cade Horton, it's already been announced, will not be back on the roster at the end of this series. So
sorry. I'm sorry to hear that.
Kind of tough when your ace is out, but
yeah.
Hey, we keep trying. Game 2 tonight, Imanaga is facing Ashby. And I like Imanaga pitching a little bit better in Milwaukee than I do in Chicago when the ball's flying out. Ashby's had a heck of a year, but I only see him going 3 or 4 innings, and then they're going to turn it over to the bullpen. And then game 3, 4, 5, of course, 4 and 5, if necessary, the pitching is still to be determined because the Cubs staff is in disarray, and I don't know what's wrong with the Milwaukee staff. It should not be in disarray at this time because you got a week off to prepare for this, but isn't back. But we'll see. And the Dodgers.
Oh, can I say something about the Cubs and the Philly? The Cubs and the Brewers. The games are on WTBS this round. They're switching networks. Vince, I don't have WTBS, so I watched on YouTube. There was 3 Cub fans sitting there, but they wouldn't tell you what was going on. They would just jump up and high five or go ah. And so I was like, well, this ain't very good. So then I found these one thing on what was like stick people, but they were like 3 pitches behind. And you would see where the ball went. finally Brody came home and he called one of his friends and they gave us their password to WTBS. Oh, and so I was able to watch it. And I'm telling you what, Vince, this is the series out of these four that I've enjoyed the most. I love the fans. The Brewer Stadium was full of Cub fans, and it was raucous. And even though it's the Brewers and the Cubs, and it's the playoffs, it was a friendly atmosphere, and it was just, man, it was just electric. So I'm looking forward. Selfishly, I hope it goes 5 games and we just see all kinds of history happen right in front of our eyes. So I'm picking the Brewers, but I'm picking them. 5 games would be great to watch this.
Yeah. Well, let's hope the Cubs do a little bit better tonight. In the final series, the Dodgers are up 1-0 over the Phillies in a game that the Phillies seemed to have in hand yesterday. And then the Dodgers worked their magic, and the Dodgers are up 4-0 now in the top of the 8th. So, unless the Phillies make a huge comeback, this series is over. I do not see Los Angeles losing 3 straight games when 2 of them are at home.
Right.
And you and I both picked the Dodgers, much to our own chagrin that we hated to do that. It pained us.
I did. I want somebody to beat them.
I got off of here last week, and I called my therapist, and I said, "Hey, I picked the Dodgers." And he said, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "I don't know. Fix me." I said, "What's even worse? My wife is picking the Yankees."
Oh man. How about that? Well, we got some Yankee picks in our contest. Vince, I think a good bet. Now, I'm not saying people should go out and bet, but it's 1-5 odds with the Dodgers and the Mariners. And so I told Brody, I said, if we had extra money, I would put 100 on the Dodgers and 100 on the Brewers. And if either one of them won, you get 500 and you double your money. You go from 200 to 400 because you'd lose. But anyway, that's what I told him we'd do. So we sort of pretend we got that bet to see what would happen. So, we're trying to be good.
So that catches everybody up on the playoffs. Except when you see this, you'll already know that the Cubs won or lost. Yeah. So good thing we didn't. If we would have lost tonight and then we record tomorrow, we're down 2-0. I'd have been just crying.
You would have been distraught. I'd have to
take over the show. Is anything going on with the Cardinals?
Yeah, yes. We've had press conferences. Our season's over, and so on the Monday after the season, John Mozeliak said his goodbyes. He's 56 years old. He's been with the Cardinals 30 years. Basically, it was about no regrets. And if you look at those 30 years, I know a lot of people look at the last 3 and we're sick of him, and he fired Schilt, which I hated that. But a lot of success over those 30 years. He will be missed. But every once in a while, you just need a change. Like, I kind of think of the Cardinals, the Pittsburgh Steelers. When I was about 1974, I started watching the Steelers, and in my lifetime, they've only had 3 coaches, and every once in a while, Chuck Noll was a great coach, but there at the end, it got a little stale, and there Bill Cowher comes in, and a resurgence and everything, and then you got Tomlin in there now, and I just think it's time for a change. And, you can go through the thing: 2 World Series, 4 National League pennants, 17 playoff appearances, 15 straight years with a winning record. And so I wish him luck. I hope he's happy, I hope every health and everything. But then on Tuesday, Chaim Bloom came in, and Vince, there was a lot of things I didn't know. And this guy already, there's a big difference between a John Mozeliak press conference and a Chaim Bloom. John Mozeliak is like monotone. Hi, how are you? And then Chaim Bloom's like, oh, you know what? This is one of the jobs in baseball that everybody would be proud to have. And this guy's been around. He's been with the Tampa Bay, and he's been with Boston, 2 completely different type of teams. And he's just, actually, I give Mozeliak a lot of credit. There was plans for Chaim to take over this year, but evidently he had some family obligations. So Mozeliak stuck around another year so that so Bloom could get everything squared away, and he really did a lot of work in the minors. So Bloom's been actually an employee for about a year and a half. He's been working down in the minor leagues. He's 42, so he's a younger guy, and he was raised from '05 to 19 in the Red Sox, 20 to 22. And I don't think the Red Sox treated him good because they wanted him to get rid of Mookie Betts, who's very unpopular. And then, of course, then they threw him under the bus after Betts got traded. But he says he's excited, and it's a dream job. And our minors already have went from 19th at the beginning of the year to down to the ninth rating, which it's nice to hear that. I don't know if it actually means anything, but it's nice to hear. And Springfield won their league's championship this year. It's the first time in quite a long time, so that's nice to see. He's Yale educated, but this is the stuff I didn't know. He brought a team of people with him, and I didn't know that until recently. I'm going to mess these names up, but he brought a guy named Rob Cerfello. He's a new assistant GM, and he's been with the Cleveland Guardians for years. Of course, we know how Cleveland brings up talent and gets those guys squared away. So he's got a great pedigree. A guy named
that's where we hired Carter Hawkins from the Cleveland organization.
Oh, we're taking all their talent. Cardinals and the Cubs, we're getting all their talented people. But Matt Pierpoint is director of pitching, and he worked last with the Seattle Mariners, and we know about their pitching, so that's a good pedigree. A guy named Larry Day is the new director of player development, and he was also with Cleveland. And then we have a director of performance, stretching, different workouts, getting the players ready, and it's Carl Cochin, and he was with the Dodgers and the Giants in the past. So that's fantastic. I'm excited to see all this new. Vince, I don't know what the Cardinals are going to look like next year, but I see big changes happening, some trades, some young guys coming up. I don't see any free agency signings. I don't think we're ready to add the last couple of pieces, but I'm just excited. We may be the same record we had this year, but things are kind of moving, I think, in the right direction. So we'll see. December 10th, they're going to have the Ford Frick Award, where someone in journalism or announcing is added to the Hall of Fame. And the Cardinals have two people who have been part of our history in that. And one is Joe Buck, is one of the 10 people that's on this short list of somebody who's going to get picked to go to the Hall of Fame. And John Rooney, who now works with Ricky Horton on the radio side on KMOX. And I absolutely love Rooney. He did a lot of years over with the White Sox. So either one of those guys would be nice. And I'm sure all 10 people are very qualified. And it'll be nice to have one of them in there. And Vince, that's it. That's it out of the Cardinal news right there.
One thing this has probably already happened. Chaim Bloom needs to settle the Arenado thing. Do you want to stay or do you want to leave? And if Arenado says, I like the new direction we're going, or I believe in your enthusiasm, or whatever, he stays. Or if he says, hey, we're a few years away, I want to win a championship. Here are the teams that I think have a legitimate shot of winning a championship. I'll take a trade to you. I think that they need to get that hammered out, first of all, and just kind of get that behind them. That's not saying you're going to be able to trade him immediately, but at least get that. What do you want to Arenado? Because the ball's in his court. He's got a no trade clause in his contract. Do you want to stay or do you want to be traded to a contender? And if he says, I stay, then you start working around that. If he says, I want to go, then you start putting together trade options to put him in a place where he could possibly win a championship. I don't think you're going to get any big-time prospects for Arenado anymore, especially being that he's got that large contract, so the Cardinals will probably just get peanuts for him. But if I'm Bloom, that's the first thing I do is just get that settled, what we're going to do with him, and then go forward.
I'm with you, Vince.
Cub news. Cubs are in the playoffs. Have we mentioned it yet? Ben Brown was added to the divisional series roster. and I hope he doesn't pitch. If he pitches, we're in trouble. And like I said earlier, Horton will not be back for the Milwaukee series. We'll see if they go further, if he's back for the championship, the league championship series. I don't know. But really, there's nothing else going on because teams don't do anything during the playoffs, but play off another team. Okay. Oh, you know who else doesn't do much during the playoffs?
Oh no, he's focused at all times, Mr. Jeremy Connor.
Jeremy Connor is watching the playoffs. Comes a time in every man's life when he needs some advice on relationships. You need to listen to the podcast DMDR, which stands for Dating, Marriage, Divorce, Remarriage, from my good friend Jeremy Connor, the Dr. Phil of the Boot Hill. You can find DMDR on Spotify or whatever platform you choose to listen to your podcast. Okay, we're just going to go over the league leaders and stats. Old guys like us, we love the league leaders.
I love them.
You're growing up, home run leaders, and you look at the top 10.
Oh, yeah. On that
Mike
card.
Schmidt, Kingman, Ron Say. Oh, just the blast.
George Foster.
George Foster.
52.
So we're going to go over the stat leaders, and I'm going to do the American League, and JJ's going to do the league that matters. Okay?
Right.
So I'll go ahead and I will do the stat leaders for the American League in the category of pitching. Sounds like the Academy Award. In the category of best makeup is for pitching in wins, good old fashioned wins. We almost had a 20-game winner. Max Fried won 19 for the Yankees, and he was followed by Garrett Crochet and Carlos Rodon, his teammate. They both had 18. So Fried had an excellent year, got slapped around by the Blue Jays, but he's had an excellent year. Crochet looked fantastic in that playoff appearance. Too bad he has to go home. And Rodon pitched Rodon. Rodon. Isn't that like
Mothra? Fighting Mothra?
Turtlers.
Yeah.
So this is a fascinating category to me. Innings pitched. Garrett Crochet pitched 207 innings and led the league. There used to be your 4-starter would throw 200 innings.
You're right.
No one else in the American League threw 200 innings. Max Fried, 195.1. Carlos Rodon, 195.1. And Tarek Skubal, 195.1. Well, actually a third. I shouldn't say 0.1 and a third of an inning. But we only had one person who pitched over 200 innings. Now, in 2016, when Kyle Hendricks had that stupidly low ERA of like 2.1 something, and I think he won 16 games, the main argument people had for not voting for him for Cy Young was, I can't vote for someone who doesn't throw 200 innings. So if those voters are still around, you've got one guy who won the Cy Young, it's Crochet. And if he didn't, throw those extra 7 innings, no one would have won it this year, according to you guys. So baseball has changed.
It has changed.
And you got to just can't stop it. My kids aren't little and cute anymore. They're big and mean now. They push me around. Things change.
They change.
I'm at an age where I don't trust a fart anymore. Things change.
Ain't that the truth?
Oh, have you ever heard of Pat Daly? He's a comedian.
Okay.
His brother was on the Frank Opinion show for years. Terry Daly was his brother.
Okay.
Pat Daly is much funnier than Terry's a national comedian. And so once he gets on, well, I probably use this all the time, and he sat there and he says, at my age, I have a philosophy. Never trust a fart and never waste a boner. The
That's good
perfect
stuff.
set for an old man.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
So anyway, strikeouts. Eric Crochet, 255 strikeouts. Tarek Skubal,
Wow.
241. And Hunter Brown had 206 strikeouts. So even though innings are down, strikeouts are up. So you're still having people who strike out over 200. Whip, I love whip. Whipped cream, very good on pie. In the American League, Tarek Skubal, 0.89 whip. Jacob DeGrom in a fan, he's going to win comeback player of the year. He had a whip of 0.92 and Brian Wu 0.93. So anytime you have a whip that's under one, it just boggles me.
Oh yeah.
It really does, Wow.
That's phenomenal.
Saves this year, Carlos Estevez from the Royals had 42. Andreas Munoz for the Mariners has 38. And Jeff Hoffman, 33 saves this year. And for pitching WAR, Skubal 6.6, Crochet 5.8, Freed 4.8. So Skubal, in my opinion, is going to win the Cy Young. I know we're not predicting, but he's the most consistent person on these lists, and except for wins, because the Tigers decided not to hit after the All-Star break. So, JJ, tell me who in the National League are the pitching stars this year?
Well, I'm going to do the top three in these categories, and then I'm on the side. I'm going to mention if Cubs or Cardinals had a guy in the top 10. So I always start out with wins. That's the big sexy number. I mean, we used to see guys, Bob Welch, 27 wins, and Clemens and Maddox and Glavine consistently in the 20s. But the top National League pitcher was Freddie Peralta, the Milwaukee Brewers, 17-6. That's still a fantastic record. I'd take that on my team anytime. Second was Jesus Lazario of the Phillies, and the Phillies lost really the top two pitchers, the guys you expect to do good, and he really stepped up. He was 15-7. And then Logan Webb, a favorite of mine from the Giants, is 15-11. And then the Cardinals had two guys tied for fourth. Matthew Boyd and Sonny Gray both won 14 games. So at least that's something. Sonny Gray had a really good year for our team, and we kind of let him down in a lot of ways. ERA, well, Mr. Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens, probably one of the most dominant pitchers, but he only had a 10-10 record. But the Pittsburgh just isn't a very good team. But a 1.97 ERA, Vince, and he's actually had a worse ERA this year. Last year was 1.96. So this kid's starting to lose it already. They figured him out. Yeah.
What's he gonna do?
Yamamoto from the Dodgers, 2.49, and then Christopher Sanchez, another very good Philly pitcher, with a 2.50. And the only Cardinal or Cub in the top 10 was Matthew Boyd. Again, very good year for Mr. Boyd, a 3.21 ERA. So he was seventh in the National League. And I tell you what, Paul Skeens, you look at almost every category but wins. He was so dominant this year. Innings pitched. Like you said, 200 used to be the gold standard. Well, Logan Webb did get 200 innings pitched this year. He 207. I'm a big Logan Webb fan, man. That guy is just a guy who goes out there and gives you everything. Christopher Sanchez was second with 202. So the National League had two guys with 200 innings pitched, and then Zach Gallen 192. Well, the Cardinals and the Cubs both had players in the top 10. And of course, you can probably guess Sonny Gray, 180.2, and Matthew Boyd was 10th at 179.2. So running neck and neck right there. But we both had representation in the top 10 in innings pitched. Then I'd like to slide down to Ks. And seems like pitchers aren't getting a lot of Ks. Like you said, they might be only throwing 5 to 7 innings, but they're striking out just as much as they used to. And of course, K's Logan Webb again at the top of the category. 224 strikeouts. Jesus Lazario, another Philly pitcher, 216. And then Paul Skeens was tied for second with 216. And the Cardinals, Sonny Gray, just broke the 200 barrier. He had 201 strikeouts, tied for seventh. So that was good to see. And then finally saves Robert Torres from the Padres, who I'll be honest, before the season started, I'm not sure if I really knew who this was. So many bullpen guys come and go. There's very few that stick around year after year after year, but that's 40 saves. Emilio Pagan from the Reds, 32, and Trevor McGill from Milwaukee, who I did know his name because I've been up to Milwaukee a couple times, with 30 saves. And then, of course, the Cubs, Daniel Palancia. Did I say it correctly? Hey, I'm getting better, Vince. 22 saves. So I know the first couple months, the Cubs bullpen, people were very worried, but Council and that crew put together a very nice bullpen. I think it's a very good strength of the team now. So anyway, that's all I have right there. And the Cubs walked fewer batters than any other team in baseball. I saw that stat. That's pretty good. You're not giving any freebies right there. The Cubs are making teams work. So it was the Cubs, the Phillies are the top two teams in the National League that don't walk players. So that's it for the National League statistics right there for league leaders.
Yeah, the thing with the Cubs, they don't walk people, and that negates the lack of strikeouts. That and the stellar defense. You don't have to have the strikeout pitchers. And they strike out their share, but they're not leading the league. No one hit 200. But when you don't walk people and keep the ball in play with that great defense, makes the pitching look really good.
Oh, and if it takes 3 hits to score a run, usually the Cubs are going to steal one of those hits. That would be a hit against the Yankees or someone like that. They'll make a play and take one of those hits away that might be a hit against an average defensive team.
In the hitting categories, I will admit my favorite category is still batting average.
Me too. It's my favorite.
Batting average. And Aaron Judge led the league in hitting with a 331 average, followed by Bo Bichette, 311 average, and Josh Wilson with a 311 average. And Wilson's going to come in second to his teammate for Rookie of the Year. And man, this guy had such a great season. He was leading the league in hitting for a lot of the year.
He sure was.
Runs, Aaron Judge once more leading the league in runs with 137. Cal Raleigh has 110, and Julio Rodriguez and George Springer each have 106. George Springer had a much better year than I thought when I started looking at this. As far as hits goes, Bobby Witt Jr. led the league with 184, followed by Bo Bichette, 181, and Aaron Judge, 179. Doubles, Bobby Witt Jr., 47 doubles. Bo Bichette, 44 doubles, and Jarren Duran, 41 doubles. Triples, Jarren Duran hit 13 triples.
My gosh, that's old school right there.
Yeah. Zach McKinstry of the Tigers had 11. He's a former Cub. And when you think about it, Duran and McKinstry, Duran is hitting left-handed in Boston where they got that giant right center to center field so you can run all day. And McKinstry playing in Detroit where I don't even know if they found the outfield fence yet. It's so massive there.
Yeah.
And then you drop down in third place, Byron Buxton was 7. So Duran 13, McKinstry 11, and Buxton 7. I've always loved triples. Triples inside the park are my favorite plays in baseball.
Exciting.
Yeah. Home runs. Gosh, I couldn't figure out who was leading the league. This guy, Sir Walter Raleigh, I've never heard of him. I think he had 6 home runs. Oh, wait a minute, there's a 0 at 60 home runs? Well, Sir Walter Raleigh must be a really good player. Raleigh had 60 home runs, Judge 53, and Caminero had 45. And this is what impresses me. I like to see the league leaders versus the rest of the league. If there's a big drop off after a few players, and a few players have had exceptional years. So when it comes to home runs, after Camaro's 45, I think the next is 37. So all three of those guys
Great years.
really had excellent years when it came to putting the ball over the fence. RBIs, Raleigh had 125, Judge 114, and Pasquantino for the Royals 113. By the way, he was healthy this year, so that helps him to get to 113 RBIs. He has Bobby Wood Jr. in front of him, who's always in scoring position.
Yes, sir.
Stolen base, Jose Caballero of the Rays, 49 stolen bases. Jose Ramirez, Cleveland, 44, and Chandler Simpson had 44 stolen bases. So there's your stolen base leaders. OPS, Aaron Judge, 1.145 OPS. Do you know who's second?
No, I don't. Who is second?
Well, you would think it'd be Cal Raleigh.
Right.
It's not.
Oh, it's not.
George Springer's OPS this year was 9.59.
I would have never guessed that, Vince.
Nobody talks about him.
No.
I mean, that's the whole Blue Jays team in a nutshell. Nobody's talking about him, even though they won the hardest division in baseball, but one of the hardest divisions in baseball. So
yeah.
And Raleigh's OPS was 9.48. And these three gentlemen are the only ones that had an OPS of over 0.9. Everybody else is in the eights and below. So they had some great years as far as OPS goes. And WAR, Judge had a 10.1 WAR, Raleigh a 9.1, and Bobby Wood Jr. an 8.0 WAR. So those are your stats for the American League. JJ finishes off with National League hitters.
All right. National League hitting, and I love hitting. Love the art of hitting. The batting average leader, which is still, like Vince said, my favorite as well, batting average. Trey Turner led the National League, which doesn't surprise me, but he led it with 304 batting average. And Vince, this is the lowest batting average to win a batting title. Previously, 1988, Tony Gwynn had a 313 batting average and won the batting title, and now it's 304. So, they're paying guys for slugging and getting on base, and base hits is part of the game, but it seems like you get paid big if you the power game is what they're going for. So it seems like, OPS, all that's going up, and the batting average seems to be going down because guys are swinging for the fences more. It seems like to me. The lowest batting average ever to win a batting title was 1968, and that's Carlos Skrimsky, and that's his Triple Crown year, and that's also the year of the pitcher, where everybody was so good they had to lower the mound that year because, they were just dominating these hitters. But so Trey Turner at 304, and Nico Horner was second. If he got 2 or 3 more hits to fall in, he would have won that batting title. 297, and then Freddie Freeman at 295. And I tell you what, any of 3 of those guys could play on my team anytime. Very good players. And I put the 4th hitter was Luis Ariz because he was going for his 4th straight batting title. He still hit a very good 292, and then he came kind of close. And the Cardinals had 2 guys in the top 10, Burleson and Donovan, who both Burleson at 290 and Donovan at 287. So anyway, congratulations to Trey Turner. Home runs. A Cubby, Kyle Schwarber. I mean, he's with the Phillies now, but I always think of him as a Cubby. 56 home runs. Kyle Schwarber is something else. And he outlasted Ohtani, who got 55, and Juan Soto hit 43. So that's pretty amazing. And the Cubs had 3 players in the top 10. Bush, 34, Suzuki, 32, and PCA, 31. So, I mean, PCA is such a dynamic player, and he hit 31 home runs on top of all that. So that's amazing right there. Stolen bases. It was a very good year for stolen bases in the National League. A lot of good, especially in the Central Division. O'Neill Cruz from the Pirates had 38. Juan Soto, who would have thought? Juan Soto, 38 stolen bases. mean, this guy can do it all. Ella De La Cruz, 37. And then fifth in the National League was PCA with 35, and sixth was Victor Scott with 34 from the Cardinals. So, man, if Victor Scott could just hit 240, man,
Oh,
he'd be
man,
able to
yeah.
yeah, if he could just get on base some more. Plays a very good defense, and hopefully he keeps working and gets better and better at that. Runs scored. I put runs scored on there. Otani, 146 runs scored. And he's on an incredible team, too. Let me tell you, if Otani played for the Pirates, he would still score 100 runs, though. That's how good he is. Soto, 120, and Lindor, who I kind of was surprised by this, scored 117 runs because we always hear about what kind of season the Mets had, but he's a very good player. They're kind of top heavy. They got 3 studs on that team. OPS, Otani, it doesn't surprise anybody, at 1.014 OPS. Schwarber, 928, and Soto 921, and Michael Busch was 8th in the National League with his OPS. Vince, I don't know if there was any other categories I have here. I think that's just about it. So that's my National League batting leaders, and it's been a heck of a year and a lot of really good players.
Yeah. There's, every year the baseball season gets shorter. Not really, but it does get shorter for me. It seems like,
It goes fast.
gosh, we were just talking about spring training.
I agree.
We really were. And then suddenly we're like talking about the playoffs. And this is so much fun for us. And JJ and I've talked about this. What I like doing is just hanging out with JJ and talking baseball and
Thank you.
let you guys hear what we talk about. I mean, it's just a lot of fun. And that's also like we really love to have our listeners and watchers as guests because it brings in a different perspective we don't think about. And it's also really cool when we have guests from teams that are like not Cardinals and Cubs because then we learn about stuff. It's pretty cool. So um, it's been a fun year, and we've just got a couple more weeks left, and this is all going to be over. We'll all be depressed again. But dadgummit, from the first pitch in Japan to yesterday when we got our butts absolutely handed to us, I've had a blast this baseball season, and it's not just because the Cubs are winning. Um, it helps. I have a blast every baseball season. It's my escape. I don't think about the things that bother me. Um, I it takes about 2.5 hours out of my life. I can't watch games every day, but there are some days where I can absolutely catch 2 or 3 games, if I stagger things out right. And I just hope everybody has enjoyed the season as much as us. And I know Cardinal fans are disappointed, but and don't check out a baseball yet. Watch these playoffs. There's some great teams in there, and there's some fun stories.
Well, we're up to 104 subscribers too, Vince. We're climbing every week. It seems like we pick up 1 or 2 subscribers. 104. We've been doing this for 3 years. I've met some incredible people. I don't want to name one because I'll have to name everybody, but we've met so many cool people along the way and had some great guests. And hopefully this new year we'll have a bunch more. I'm out there, and I would do this if we didn't do this. I'd be talking to you every week, calling you up, saying, "Oh my gosh, Vince, did you see this?" And we get to do it once a week and set a little side time and get to talk to people. I love it when people come up to me and talk to me about the game. I got a lot of veterans that come in and go, "Hey," one guy's a Milwaukee Brewer guy, and I invited him on, but he's like, "Oh, no, I'm too nervous. I couldn't go on there." But it's just fun talking baseball with everybody. So thank everybody very much.
Thank you. And let's open up some cards. I've got score 1989.
Ooh, 89. Vince, I found this pack. I've never seen this pack before. Big baseball cards, tops. And this is the third, what did it say here? Third series. Third series. And it's 1988. 7 picture cards. So I'm excited. You don't know how hard it was not to open this when I got it. I was like, I want to open it on the show. So I've been restrained. I've restrained myself.
Do you want to open yours now? Or
Can I Thank you. Oh, I can't wait. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, I like this. So I got 7 cards here. 1988. The first one, Hall of Famer, Carlton Fisk. How about that?
Yeah.
And Vince, look on the back here. It's got a cartoon and tells you little facts about the player and tells you what he did in 1988. So isn't that pretty cool? Carlton Fisk with the old White Sox Chicago hat right there. I love the Chiefs, man. Carlton Fisk was great. Oh, one of our favorites. Just went in the Hall of Fame. Mr. Dave Parker, the Cobra right there with the Oakland A's. Man, love Dave Parker. We always think of that all-star game where he threw those 2 incredible throws to nail people. All right. Okay, you got Dave Parker and Carlton Fisk. And of course, who could match up with those guys? None other than Deion James from the Atlanta Braves. Deion. Yeah.
I remember him.
I remember the name. I couldn't tell you a thing about him though. I'll read the cartoon later and find out about Deion James. Evidently, Deion likes cottage cheese. Okay, that's something for everybody. Yeah. I didn't know that either.
His career would have been better, but he'd like leave the dugout like the 4th inning because he'd have a cottage cheese craving. And
Well, it says Deion's Pony Colt and Legion teams won titles. Well, very good, Deion James. Very good. Minnesota Twin Gene Larkin. You remember Gene?
World Series hero.
Yeah, it looks like those Sears pictures when your mom would take you to Sears and they do a regular photo and then they got the big head turned sideways in the background. Oh, this guy, a very good career with Houston Astros. Glenn Davis.
Oh, yeah.
Big Glenn Davis right there.
Power in that big ballpark.
Yes, this guy's into the announcing. I think he's on the MLB channel now, but it's Seattle Mariner, Dave Valley, one of their all-time great catchers. Right there. And finally, Vince, when I show you this name, you tell me the first thing that pops in your head, because if I wrote it down, I think we'd be on the same page. He's with the Pirates here, Mr. Sid Bream.
Oh, the dash home.
The dash home. I knew you'd say that because that's what I was thinking, the same darn thing. So that's my 7 right there, Vince.
Okay, well, I'm going to open up the score. Oh, the photo quality cards.
Oh.
And you had 2 Hall of Famers with 7 cards. I get a Hall of Famer my first card, and he's going to look very familiar. Dave Parker.
Dave Parker, double the dose of Dave. Any day.
Look at that smile.
Oh, yeah. He lights up the room. The Cobra.
Yeah. Oh, former Cub pitching for the Giants. I've made an argument that he could be in the Hall of Fame. The overlooked Rick Russell.
Rick Russell. That dude could get it done. He knew how to pitch. He was a pitcher.
Yes, did. My second Hall of Famer, center fielder for the Twins, Kirby the Giant Puckett.
Oh, yeah. 87, catching those balls up against the wall in that Metrodome. Oh, yeah, he's great.
Did you like his band, Kirby Puckett, the Union Gap?
Young girl.
Former All-Star right fielder for the Blue Jays, Jesse Barfield.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard this guy on the radio, and he just doesn't shut up. His name is Rick Horton.
He's a sweetheart. You might not find it. Matter of fact, my wife's sister babysitted his kids for him years ago. I think it was a player, and I wrote him a note, and I said, "Hey, my sister-in-law, Hope, her name was Hope I at the time. Hope I swear to God, I'm not making that up. I said, she babysitted for you. And he wrote me back a little bit. You tell Hope I said hi. I think she's great. Da, 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 da. You take care. And he signed the cards for me. So Ricky Horton's always big on my list right there.
Oh, very good. Very cool.
Yeah.
Former Twins, former Yankee, and former California Angel catcher Butch Weiniger.
Oh, yeah. I like Butch Weiniger. Yeah.
A year to remember, 1966. Well, yeah, I was born.
Oh, yeah. That's a right there. That's as good as it gets. Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Triple Crown. I can't read the whole thing, but yeah.
Very nice.
That's what I was doing in 1966. I was sliding out the birth canal.
State.
Was uh, this guy has the most generic name. I don't know who he is. He is Jimmy Jones. I think that's a pseudonym. I think he's hiding from the law.
Yeah.
The former Cardinal pitcher, Greg Matthews.
Oh, yeah. Good Matthews.
That's one of my favorite poses when they have a pitcher coming down and the arms coming over the shoulder. Yeah, it's just beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Catching the ball in flight.
Former Mariner, former Angel, Mr. Mike Moore, good pitcher.
Oh, yeah. Oakland. I remember him with Oakland, too.
Yeah, there's just one there. Oh, former Ranger relief pitcher, once an All-Star, and I've always loved his name, Dale Mahorsek.
I don't know that guy. Yeah.
Oh, what year was he an All-Star? He was an All-Star in 86.
86. Huh. 20 years after you were born.
Yeah. Expos infielder Tom Foley. He's related to Tim Foley.
Oh, okay. I remember Tim Foley. I don't remember Tom.
I don't remember Tom either.
Maybe it's an error card.
Oh, no. Tim Foley's last name was Foli.
Oh, okay. This is Ley.
This is just, yeah, Ley. So unless he doesn't know how to spell his last name.
Hey.
I got another Hall of Famer. Former Dodger, former Astro, and former Milwaukee Brewer, Mr. Don Sutton.
Oh,
yeah.
Don. That guy, a lot of innings. Fantastic. A lot of wins.
And this guy was center fielder for the White Sox, and then he went on to the fruit business, smashing watermelons, Mr. Dave Gallagher.
I remember him.
Ooh, I got a rookie card, Brewer left fielder, Gary Sheffield.
Oh, yeah. He'd have that bat. He'd be shaking it around, pointing at you. Oh, yeah.
Reds pitcher, Ron Robinson. Do not remember Ron. I remember Don, but not Ron.
I remember the name. That's about all I could tell you.
And former Yankee catcher, I think he played for the Royals too. Yes, he did. Don Slaught.
I thought that's who you were going to say. Oh, Don Slaught. Yeah.
Well, JJ, we both did good. I had 3 Hall of Famers, and you had 2.
Two.
And you had some. I mean, time to go buy that Powerball ticket.
That's right.
By the way,
put it on 1966.
If I do win the Powerball, I want everybody to know I will still do this podcast.
Right there. That's he's a gamer.
A lot less dime store-ish.
You'll be dressing like Ric Flair, though. You'll have your, you'll be snazzed out right there with the chains.
Do you ever see The Simpsons where they're playing the lottery and Homer bought like 30 tickets, and the very first number he had on none of the tickets. And so they're watching the news, and the news guy says, and it looks like the winner of the lottery is me.
I remember that little clip. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah.
All right. Hey, everybody. Enjoy the playoffs. We will see you next week. And we're going to get some cool weather. It's going to feel like fall baseball. It's going to be really cool. So
that'll be great.
JJ, you have a good one.
You too, sir.
All righty.